Welcome to our channel. We're going to dive into a really fascinating paradox today. What if the secret to making your medicine more effective is actually using less of it? Yeah, it sounds crazy. We're going to look at a protocol that completely flips the script on how we've always thought about tolerance. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that experience where a medicine, maybe one that gave you incredible relief, just stops working like it used to? It's so frustrating, right? Especially if you're relying on it for a chronic condition. You find yourself upping the dose, maybe trying different products, but you just can't seem to recapture that original magic. First off, let's get one thing straight. This is not some kind of personal failure. It's a biological puzzle. We call it hitting a plateau, and it's that point where the whole more is better idea just completely falls apart. So what's actually going on inside our bodies? And more importantly, is there a smarter, faster way to fix it than just, stopping cold turkey for weeks and weeks? All right, to really get this, we've got to go investigate the scene of the crime, and that's the human brain. So deep inside all of us, we have this incredible network called the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS for short. You can think of it as your body's master regulator. It's always working behind the scenes to keep everything in balance, what scientists call homeostasis. And I mean everything. Your mood, your appetite, how you feel pain, it's all connected to the ECS. Okay, now here's where it gets really wild. This system is covered in what are basically tiny docking stations. These are called CB1 receptors, and your brain has more of these than almost any other kind of receptor. It's amazing. So when you use cannabis, molecules like THC travel right up to the brain and they fit into these docks like a key in a lock, and that's what triggers the effects we feel. Now, there are actually two main types of these docking stations. You've got CB2 receptors, which are mostly hanging out in your immune system, dealing with things like inflammation. But the ones we're really focused on today, the stars of our show, are the CB1 receptors. These are the ones packed into our brain and nerves, and they are the main target for THC. Okay, so here's the absolute crux of the issue. If you're constantly flooding your brain with THC, your brain, being the incredibly smart organ it is, goes into self-protection mode. It starts pulling those docking stations offline, closing them down to avoid being overwhelmed. This process is called downregulation, and that is the root cause of tolerance. It's not magic, it's just biology. Your medicine stops working as well because there are literally fewer places for it to go. So for years and years, the standard advice to fix this has been the good old tea break, right? A tolerance break. But what if that advice is built on a massive misunderstanding of how our brains actually work? I mean, we've all heard it, haven't we? Just take 30 days off, and on the surface, the logic kind of makes sense. Give your body a whole month to clear out and hit the reset button. For decades, this has been the unquestioned wisdom. But this is where we've been making a critical mistake. We've been confusing two completely different biological clocks. On one hand, you have what's called metabolite clearance. That's just how long it takes for the leftover byproducts to wash out of your body's fat stores. And yeah, that can take weeks. But the clock that actually matters for tolerance, that's receptor recovery. And it turns out the brain is way, way faster at rebuilding those docking stations than we ever thought. And believe me, that one little distinction, it changes everything. It opens the door to a much faster, way more efficient method for hitting that reset button. So instead of just relying on old assumptions, scientists can now use amazing technology like PET scans to literally watch this receptor recovery happening in a living brain in real time. So what did they find? Get ready for this, because this is the number that completely shatters that 30-day myth. Groundbreaking brain imaging studies show that for heavy, chronic users, the number of those crucial CB1 docking stations starts to return to near normal levels after just 2 days of stopping. Not a month, 48 hours. Please like and subscribe, it really helps our channel a lot. Okay, so armed with this incredible new science, a much more strategic approach has come to light. We're not talking about a long, punishing break anymore. We're talking about a short, highly structured reset. It's known as the 6-day protocol. And it's really elegant in its simplicity. It unfolds over just 3 phases. You start with that 48-hour fast, which lets the brain do its rebuilding work. Then you move into this really clever sensitization window. And you finish up by finding your brand new and much, much lower optimal dose. So let's break it down those first 2 days, days 1 and 2. That's the fast, 0 cannabis. This is based directly on that 48-hour brain scan data, and it's when your brain is rapidly putting those CB1 docking stations back online.
But then, on day 3, the protocol does something that sounds totally counterintuitive. Instead of staying off it, you reintroduce a tiny amount, just enough to feel the slightest possible effect. The idea here is that this microdose basically teases the system, encouraging your brain to build even more receptors to try and catch that very small signal.
But you might be wondering, how can such a tiny amount even do anything? Well, there's a specific technique for this, sometimes called the secret breath. The idea is to inhale just a very small amount, then top it off with fresh air to push it deep into your lungs, and then exhale slowly through pursed lips. This whole process maximizes absorption, so you're making every little bit count. It's the less is more philosophy in action. Okay, so by the time you hit day 6, the results of doing this can be, well, profound. We're not just talking about resetting your tolerance here. We're talking about potentially transforming your entire relationship with your medicine.
And check out this number. It's pretty staggering. Clinical reports suggest that after following this protocol, many people find they need as much as 60% less medicine to get better results than they were getting before they started. Let that sink in for a second.
So what's the payoff? I mean, why does this matter so much? Well, first, you're getting better therapeutic effects with less medicine. You also see a big reduction in side effects, like that grogginess or brain fog. For people dealing with chronic pain, this can have a potential opioid-sparing effect, which is huge. And of course, there's the money you save. And let's not gloss over those savings because they are significant. We all know medical cannabis is rarely covered by insurance, so that out-of-pocket cost can be a real burden. Look at these numbers. A heavy medical user spending, say, $600 a month could potentially save over $4,300 a year. Even a moderate user could be looking at savings of nearly $1,500. That's real money that makes treatment way more sustainable. So this whole protocol really forces us to ask a big question. What if the secret to getting better results isn't about using more, but about using smarter? It really suggests that the path forward isn't just about increasing the dose, but about working with our own biology to make our medicine work for us, not against us. Thanks for watching. This content does not constitute medical advice, legal advice, or recommendations for the use, self-treatment, or consumption of any substance.